Hello, everyone. I hope your week's been going well because, hey, we're in the weekend now. And in fact, tomorrow we talk about John the Baptizer again in church. Yep, we talked about him last week from the Gospel of Mark. This week it's from the Gospel of John. I'd like to read just a little something. This is the testimony given by John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" He confessed and did not deny it, but confessed, "I am not the Messiah." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" He answered, "No." Then they said to him, "Who are you? Let us have an answer for those who sent us. What do you say about yourself?" He said, "I am the voice of one crying out in the wilderness, 'Make straight the way of the Lord,' as the prophet Isaiah said." Okay, interesting, isn't it? John's answers to those people who were asking who he was, he's basically telling them who he's not. It's only at the very end. He says, "I'm just a voice. I'm a voice saying, 'Make straight the paths of the Lord. Make straight his way.'" Yep. He is confessing to who he isn't. And as he confesses, he points the way to Jesus. It's interesting. The words for giving a testimony, being a witness, confessing in the Gospel of John, there's two different words. The noun is martyria. The verb form to be a witness is martyreo. They occur 45 times in this gospel. This Gospel of John is all about pointing the way to Jesus. And it starts right here early on with John the Baptizer. Now, there are some historians who look at it and say, we think that part of what's going on here is there may have been a John the Baptist cult that was still kind of gaining some steam there in Israel at the end of the 1st century AD. And the gospel writer, when he wrote this gospel, felt it was important to say, hey, it's not about John the Baptizer, it's all about Jesus. And he really emphasizes those times when John was pointing the way to the one who is greater than him. And we're going to see that a little bit more in that first chapter of John as well. John the Baptizer, pointing the way to Jesus. John the Baptizer, giving testimony. And see, that's an important word in the Greek language. It is courtroom type of word. You're giving testimony in court to what you saw happen. Eyewitness testimony. And if they find out that you were lying, that was a capital offense. You could be put to death for that. In fact, that is where we get the word for martyr. Christians who gave testimony, who were giving their views of Jesus and not giving in, they were martyred in the early years of Christianity. So you put your life on the line for Jesus, even as he put his life out there on the line for us as well. And it makes us think, as we talk about John the Baptizer pointing the way, look at what happened to him. He gave his life eventually as he stood up against the tyrants of his day and age. How about you and me? We live a pretty easy life, especially in this country. We're not being crucified. We're not being beat up upon just because we say we're Christian. If any of that happens, generally it's because of what we do to ourselves. Are we pointing the way to Jesus, though, by the way we live? And the way that we do that is by loving and caring and sharing and showing graciousness and showing forgiveness and showing that it's because of the love that God first had for us that we do these things. It's not so that we can get our way and have it some sort of power over others, we become the servants of all. And we are going to see that occur in the Gospel of John as well. Time and time again, Jesus is the one who comes to be our servant and to show an incredible amount of love that, to be honest, we don't always do it. We fail at it. But he also showed an incredible amount of forgiveness that allows us to go out and be the witnesses to the awesome power of God and his resurrection power as well. One that gives us hope. Hope for a future. Hope that beyond all the aches and pains of this world is something so much greater that waits for you and for me. It's part of the gift of Christmas. It's part of what is all about in this time of Advent as we see John the Baptizer pointing the way to the Lamb of God, who is Jesus himself. Well, I know I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Get your Christmas gear in order. Get all the stuff put up in the house that you want to decorate and celebrate. Get the cookies made, because I'll be over real shortly. God's blessings be with you this day.